guess this is the middle of a 3-week trip for us that includes training and competition against 3 of the best teams in the world in Spain. Here this week we're with Italy, and next week we're in Holland. It's a little bit cooler here than it was in Miami, but it's still very nice. I think anytime we have the opportunity to be here in Ostia, it's wonderful from a coach's standpoint because you have the food, the beds, and the pool all within 25 meters of one another. So it's a coach's dream to be able to be in one place, and then obviously to be able to train with and against an incredible Italian team. Much closer than Miami, which is nice. I just wish it was a little bit warmer, but it's been beautiful. And for myself personally, to be able to go on runs in the morning, to go for some exercise along the beach. And last night we enjoyed a little cafe and watched the sunset. Yeah, it was beautiful. It's nice not to be alone. No, not shocking for me. No, I'm not. I wasn't surprised one bit. I think the Italian team is very good, very talented, well coached. They have all the right pieces in terms of position by position. Certainly they're growing, and quite frankly, as I've said publicly, we're not the same team that we were before. We have a lot of new young players in the mix, and we weren't in the best form going into World Championships. So I wasn't surprised. I knew it was going to be a very close game. You know, in any of these matches against any one of the best 8 teams in the world, the margins are very thin, and it depends on the day, and it depends on the intensity, and it depends on the ability in that moment for your team to be able to execute. And credit to Italy, they did a much better job. They deserve to win. That's the reality of sport. I mean, it starts with Carlo. I mean, Carlo's a legend in our sport, you know, an incredible player back in his day, has proven himself to be an incredible coach. It's an honor to get the opportunity to compete with him. The team itself, as I said earlier, they have all the right pieces. They have good centers. Goal play was fantastic, especially against us. They're very creative. I mean, the Italians have always been very creative. For them, it's you know, more than Americans, it's more of a show, seemingly. And it's always been a joy to watch them play because they play with some freedom and some creativity, and they have incredible shooters, players with great vision, see the pool very well. So they're a very difficult team to play against. I've been doing this for 14 years, but the system for the most part was in place even before I arrived. So a lot of credit goes to the people that came before me that set up the system. There are positives and there are negatives. You mentioned the wide base that we are able to pull from. That can be a positive, but at the same time, I don't know if that is for us. When you have such a wide base, it can only be as effective as the coaches and the programs and the facilities you have to develop that wide base. I'll give you an example. The best teams in Europe on the men's side have been, some of the best teams have been all from a little very small area. They don't have large countries. There's not a large population to choose from. That's not what's most important. What's most important is the quality of the instruction. What's most important is the quality of the coaching, the quality of the training, and being able to maximize that. And sometimes the larger the country or the larger the group, the more that quality gets dispersed across and is not maximized across the entire land, and is not maximized. Our country is enormous, but we don't have the facilities or the coaches to be able to match the number of athletes that are competing in our country, to be able to develop them. If you even look at our national team and where most of our athletes are coming from, they come from a very small area. California, and specifically maybe a little bit more Southern California than Northern California, and we can even get into even smaller segments of Southern California. I think that's the other thing about our system, is that our collegiate system is wonderful. It provides our athletes an opportunity, athletes from 18 years old to 22 years old, an opportunity to compete at a high level and also get an education, so advance their lives beyond sport, and that's an incredible experience for all of them. However, what's most important is that the development of all athletes at the younger ages. before they reach the age of 18, high school in the club level. The one thing I'm jealous about here and in other European countries is that they have club teams that extend beyond high school, that extend beyond college. We don't have anything like that in America. We have the college. It's not bad, but once they're 22 years old, there's nowhere for them to play. So in order for them to continue the dream of playing water polo, they need to come to Italy, they need to go to Spain, they need to go anywhere in Europe to be able to play, which is an incredible opportunity. One of the reasons why we've been able to have success and win those 3 gold medals is certainly the development system and all the people that have taken part in that, but it's also been our ability to be able to keep players on the team who have an interest to continue to play. And that is so important for us, both on the women's side and the men's side. You know, I think one of the reasons why our men's team is having some success now, and I think is looked at as a formidable opponent, is because they've been able to keep a core group of guys continuing to play. And that's not always easy for us in America. And that's one of the reasons why we've been able to have some success on the women's side as well. The last year, especially, the last year leading up to the Olympics, they take a break from their college so we can train together for the full years, from May of last year to all the way to July. We do that because we feel like it's important for us to be together, to create that cohesion, but also to train at a high level. We are at a somewhat disadvantage to our European counterparts, in my opinion, in that many of them play together on teams and are playing many games, very high-level competitive games in Europe all year round. The collegiate season is great. It's a 5-month season. They all wouldn't play together, and we have some players that cannot play in college, right? They're too old to play in college anymore. So for us, they would have to go to Europe. Correct. They take a sabbatical, and we train, we travel the world, we compete, and we feel like essentially, yes. And you know, it's I think we typically make large strides. We improve a lot over that course of time, just being together and training together and training in a very competitive, high level, intense, hard-working environment creates champions, creates success. I love the game of water polo. Obviously, I'm very passionate about it, or else I wouldn't be doing it for as long as I have. However, coaching water polo is what I do. It's not who I am. And my passion for life, my passion for my family, far exceeds my joy and passion for the sport. And I'm not gonna say that that's a good or bad thing, and I'm not gonna judge anyone else. This is who I am. Again, I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. I study what I do. I'm a perfectionist, but at the end of the day, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a son. Hopefully I'm a good friend, and I just enjoy life in general. I think this keeps me even level, it keeps me well balanced, and it keeps me humble as well. You know, no matter the success that we have or even the failure that we have, knowing that I'm not defined by either one of those allows me to live my life with a certain amount of peace. That's very important. I live in California, a town called Manhattan Beach. It's not quite like New York City, Manhattan. It's a beautiful slice of paradise in Los Angeles, close to the beach. That is, it's a wonderful place to live. I have a son who's 17 years old, who started out as a water polo player, Jack. I love him very much. He started out as a water polo player, but now he's a swimmer. He loves to swim. He puts the goggles on, he chases the black line. He finds incredible joy in that. It makes me happy to watch him play or swim passionately. And my daughter has wanted nothing to do with the sport. And to be as much, I would have enjoyed to see them both play the game in the same breath. Part of me is relieved that they don't, because when you're a coach, you spend a lot of time here on the pool deck, coaching, watching water polo, you know, being passionate, getting angry, enjoying the great times about the sport, seeing the X's and O's. And then if your son or daughter plays, you leave, and guess what? You watch more water polo. You can't escape it. And in some ways it's been nice. For me, my family is my escape from the sport and has allowed me to keep a fresh, healthy mind. I enjoy exercising. I think staying fit and healthy is important for your mind, although I haven't been great with it lately. And I love to golf. I love to golf. I love to golf. It is it's a passion, a deep passion for me. I wouldn't say I'm very good, but I'm a 9 handicap. It's such a challenge mentally to be able to stay present, to be able to not get frustrated. In a sport like water polo, we're so used to when things don't go well, we just train harder. We get more competitive. We fight more. In golf, you have to be just the opposite. You have to calm down. You can't get too emotional. You need to relax. And I enjoy that challenge, and I enjoy competing against yourself, competing against the course, not necessarily competing against someone else. I love sport. I love all sport. I'm watching in person as much as I can, but mostly on TV. I grew up in Northern California, so I'm a huge, what we call Bay Area, which is the San Francisco Bay Area sports fan. So I enjoy basketball, the Golden State Warriors. I enjoy the San Francisco 49ers. Joe Montana, yes. He was, I met Obama and I met George Bush. Yeah, George W. Yes, George W. Yeah, I met those two presidents. The president is the leader of the country. They are the face. They set the expectation. They set the tone. They set. They're the ones, whether you like someone or not, they're the ones most people look to for a direction or an answer or motivation or inspiration. So they certainly can. It's similar to a coach and as a part of a team. You play an important role as a leader. Any leader does in any organization, in any company, in any team, in any country. So they can have an impact. A country's psyche and a country's ability to be able to be cohesive. I believe every person has the right to be able to voice how they feel about anything. Politically, everyone has the right to peacefully protest, as long as it's not disturbing anyone else or causing physical harm. We all come from different parts of life in different areas, and our experiences across our country and every country it's different for every person. For me to be able to judge someone else would be irresponsible. I didn't have a problem with it one bit. I've always viewed myself more as an independent, kind of a moderate, because I hate politics. For me, it should never be a question of who's right. It should be more of a question of what's right. Our country has gotten to the point where it's been very divisive to watch. There are two sides, and too many times, people make decisions just based on what the philosophy is on one side instead of looking at the big picture. You ask how this success, the gold medals, have impacted me. In one sense, because we've had success, it's put me in a position of notoriety. It's put me in a position of leadership where people look to me to be an example of something. And in that, I embrace, I enjoy, because ultimately I want to have a positive impact on anyone I come across, whether it's you, whether it's my team I coach, whether it's the community I live in. So having the success that I've had has been an honor to be able to be in a position of influence that I take very, very serious. At the same time, the success hasn't changed me one bit. I'm the same human being that I was when I took the job in 2009. I believe in the same values that I believed in then, and it doesn't change my life for the better or for the worse. What's most important from me has been not the medals, not the success, not the failures, it's been the relationships that I've built over however many years I've been doing this, and the lessons that I've learned through the process. When you have that mentality, I'm no different than you. I may have 3 gold medals, but you're sitting on the other side of the camera. I have the same problems you may have. I just have never viewed myself, and that is probably a testament to how I was raised, to my parents, to my older brothers who I looked up to when I was young. This is who we are as a family. This is how we've always operated, and I just continue to do the same things I've always done.